Hey, yo, Vince! I don't know what they're doing up there at the base, but it's giving me some really bad vibes. So I'm out of here. There's a copy of the keys at the campsite. Go get him, champ.
Unless you have a very convincing argument, I'm not going underwater. There's no way I can fit that in my pocket. Let's not damage other people's property without a reason. Hey kid, where can I find the camp manager?
You're speaking to her.
Listen, kiddo, I don't have time for your games. Can I speak with the grown-ups?
Ooh, she's disrespecting you, Pamela. Don't let her get away with it.
I like the smell of her hair. Can I burn it? Can I?
Shut up, both of you!
Who are you talking to?
My staff, Clarice and Lisa.
I see. Anyway, I need to borrow your keys to the dam.
You'll have to ask Clarice.
You know the rules, Pamela. Keys are for the campsite staff only. Rules. 6, 7, look left, 4, jump, sit down, don't touch that!
Can't we make an exception, Clarice? She seems like a nice girl.
Ask her if we can play with her hair. I said campsite staff only. Now stop bothering me.
So the keys are for campsite staff only?
Yes.
In that case, I'd like to apply for a job here.
See what you've done? Now she wants to work here.
Come on, we could use some help, actually.
And I like her.
All right then, it's settled. Now, every applicant must first prove their worth.
If Hercules could deal with his labors, then so can I. What have you got for me?
A kayak came loose and is now in the middle of the lake. Needless to say, we need it back.
Oh, and don't forget about that super cool camper.
He rented some diving equipment and never returned it.
Since we're doing this, you might as well clean the outhouse. It's filthy, and I'm certainly not doing it.
You catch all that? Okay, take this then. You'll need it.
I really need those keys.
Why should we give them to you?
That's a very good question, for which I have a corresponding good answer.
Which is...
Look, buddy, we both know that's not gonna fly. Stop trying to get me killed and choose something else. I'm Betty Gecko from Campsites Inc. Since you took over as manager, this campsite has done nothing but lose money. Unless you give me the keys to the dam right now, I'll bring this news to the board.
Sure, there's a phone in the basement you can use. Let me show you the way.
Now that I think of it, it's kind of late. I wouldn't want to wake them. About those tasks you gave me,
Uh-huh.
what exactly happened to the kayak?
Mr. Kayak was taken by the tide.
Yeah, well, getting in the lake looks dangerous.
Why do you think we haven't recovered the kayak yet? We don't want to drown.
Not to mention the leeches. Ew.
Then how do you expect me to do it?
Looks to me like you're gonna have to find a way to pull it back to shore without getting in the water.
What exactly happened to the kayak?
Mr. Kayak was taken.
Yeah, well, getting in the lake looks dangerous.
Why do you think we haven't recovered the... Not to mention...
Why do I have to clean the outhouse anyway?
You know what an outhouse is?
Yes.
You know how to use it?
Yeah.
Well, most people don't. That's why you have to clean it. Now get cracking.
What I meant was, why do I have to do it?
Pecking order. If you were in my place, you wouldn't hesitate to give the worst task to a future staff member.
Of course I wouldn't.
Ah, nice to see you're not a complete idiot.
What do you expect me to do with an empty spray bottle?
You're standing next to a huge lake. How could you possibly fill one tiny spray bottle, I wonder?
About that rental gear. What exactly am I looking for?
My stuff, mine!
It's our best diving suit. We rented it out to one of the campers.
Best, hence the extra charge.
He said he got his stolen by chipmunks.
Ooh, Fluffy!
Nothing. I'm on it. So, what's your story? How did you girls meet?
Well, it all began back in Springwood, Ohio.
Wait! I want to tell her the story! Let me do it!
Maybe another time, Lisa. I want Pam to continue.
Aww!
My dad wasn't the nicest guy. He spent a lot of time drinking, and he and Mom fought a lot. Well, until that one day. But it was an accident.
What kind of accident?
The kind that happens very commonly. He tripped and fell on a machete backwards 7 times.
That doesn't sound that common to me.
Oh, you can ask Clarice if you don't believe me. She was there when it happened.
Yeah, ask me if you don't believe me.
Now that you mention it, I just remembered my granddad died of the same thing. Very common type of accident indeed.
Right? Anyway, after the funeral, Mom had to work a lot to make up for his absence. So I got really lonely. That's when Lisa showed up. She gave me the warmest hug and told me I'd never be alone again.
Yep, Lisa rules. Now we cuddle all the time, sing songs around the campfire, and sharpen knives.
Lots of knives.
That's so sweet. I see that you haven't lost your memory.
What? Of course I haven't. Why would I have lost my memory?
I remember everything. How about you, Clarice?
I remember everything, too. Even this numbskull right here.
Quiet, you two. Now, you. What are you talking about?
Well, back in town, no one remembers a thing. They can only recall the last few hours. Have you really not heard?
We're pretty focused on the campsite. We don't really know what's going on in town.
Do you know what caused the explosion?
What explosion?
Maybe she means the awful sound that she makes when she talks.
Come on. Half of the dam has blown up and you're telling me you know nothing about it?
Oh, that explosion.
I was sunbathing when it happened.
It was night time.
Moonbathing then.
Ugh. Being a camp manager is so much more stressful with these two around.
I'm gonna try to find a spot that's less crowded.
Good luck with that.
If you play with fire, you get burned. Lashing out to express your dissent with social norms. Are you sure about this choice? Know your place, trash! I know I've got deep pockets, but they're not that deep.
Negotiations are over! That. Don't touch that! Hey! You got no business down there!
I just want to take a quick look. Never mind. You know what repels mosquitoes is the citronella and not the sign, right? You know what repels mosquitoes is the citronella and not the sign, right?
Chop, chop, chop your log gently with the swing. Merrily, 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 merrily. Careful if you blink.
And anger the machete-wielding girl? Not in my best interest. I need to focus on getting inside the dam.
I don't have time to take a refreshing dip in the crystal clear water.
Ow! They bite! Coated in the sweet scent of citronella. Begone, monsters! You don't belong in this world!
You'll be back!
What?
Joe! What's that brown thing over there? Ah! Quick! Everyone get out of the water!
It won't turn. I can't handle this barehanded. Ew! Could you at least clean it up first? I don't need to wet this. I wonder what would happen if I open. I don't need to wonder. Let's find out now.
By Poseidon's beard! What's going on? I love you, Alice. Avenge my death! Gah! Leave my backpack alone, you pesky chipmunks. Oh, sweet. A Twonky. Hey, wait! Give it back, you damn pigeon! Water landing. Well, better than a cactus landing. Hey, where did my harpoon go?
Wow, I can't believe you performed a 900-degree rotation while screaming for your life. Shame you didn't stick the landing. What were you doing in there anyway?
I was trapped, but you freed me from that terrible place. Thank you.
In case you're wondering who your beautiful savior is, I'm Betty.
Nice to meet you, Betty. I'm Smokey on the Water, Hasselback Montoya the 8th. But you can call me Smokey.
Would you mind fetching me that kayak?
Impossible. If I move around too much, it might alert the beast.
What beast are you talking about? Leeches?
Leeches? No, you foolish girl. In these waters lives a terrible creature.
There's nothing more terrible than leeches.
You must be joking. Corporate lawyers, Jehovah's Witnesses, Baba Yaga, weeping angels? I could go all day.
Don't forget the chipmunks.
Arr! The chipmunks! Anyway... These aren't just any waters. They're haunted by... the Great Sherman!
What's a Great Sherman?
I can tell you, but let me warn you right now. After you hear this, you'll never be the same again.
Whatever. I doubt this is going to be the craziest thing I'll hear tonight.
In these waters lurks Sherman, one of nature's most twisted aberrations. A monster so monstrous, the word monster doesn't begin to describe its monstrosity.
Not Not to change the subject or anything, but when was the last time you had your brain checked?
6 months ago. Standard Navy procedure. Anyway, don't interrupt me. The Great Sherman has extinguished entire civilizations, and its victims are counted by the thousands.
Are you perhaps exaggerating a tiny bit? Except for my hometown, there's literally nothing for miles around.
Exactly! Because of Sherman! So let me continue. My great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, Juan Plata on the Grill Hasselback Montoya, fought the beast but was forced to retreat after suffering grievous injury. Since then, each generation of my family has sworn to defeat this unholy beast.
How many of them survived?
Only one.
Are you telling me 6 generations of your family have died in this lake?
Yes, but there won't be another. I'll be the one to fulfill our dynastic destiny.
Who's Alice?
How do you know that name?
Well, apparently, she's supposed to avenge your death.
You must have me mistaken for someone else. We Montoyas don't fear death.
Oh, really? Because I could have sworn I heard you screaming like a baby.
Alice is my daughter. And I was screaming like a full-grown man.
I need you to return that rental gear right away.
I can't. Not now. I'm too close. I must see this through.
Well, you can give it to me or deal with the campsite owner. Which, to be honest, might be even worse than facing that imaginary creature of yours.
I'll gladly give it back to you in exchange for your help.
A fetch quest? I love fetch quests. What am I looking for?
My harpoon. It got lost during the launch.
Quest accepted. Can you tell me more about the beast?
What do you want to know?
What does it look like?
Centuries have passed since Juan Plata encountered the monster for the first time. Over the years, the legends of this beast became darker and murkier than the lake itself. Nobody really knows what it looks like, only that it's gargantuan and evil.
If it's so big and evil, how come nobody's ever seen it?
Of course people have seen it. It's just that none of them have ever made it back alive.
Are you sure your ancestors knew how to swim?
Positive.
Right. What kind of name is the Great Sherman?
A terrifying one.
What's his last name?
What? Why would a monster have a last name?
For intimidation purposes, of course. Something like Sherman Soul Eater.
Or maybe Sherman the Impaler.
Don't be silly, Betty. Legendary monsters don't have last names. Think of Medusa, the Chupavacas, or the Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster does have a last name. It's Monster.
Look, if you're so interested, you can ask him. While he's writhing in agony at the end of my harpoon.
How do you intend to kill it?
With my harpoon. When I find it, that is.
Really? That's it? A harpoon?
Well, see, the harpoon is actually my plan B.
What happened to Plan A?
Chipmunks.
Tell me more about your plan A.
I made a decoy victim out of oxygen tanks and my grandfather's old clothes. May he rest in peace. Then I poured barbecue sauce all over it and stuffed the pockets with shrimp to entice the beast. Then I was going to drag the decoy over to the lake. As you know, no monster can resist the taste of barbecued shrimp. He'd snap the decoy up, and once it was held firmly in his jaws, I would tell him a joke.
What?
Oh, the good old classic. See, a ghost pirate, a sea monster, and a mermaid walk into a bar and...
Those jokes aren't funny.
Maybe not to you, but monsters find them hilarious. Anyway, then he'd start to laugh, and I'd shoot the oxygen tank in his open mouth. The tank would then explode, sending the beast off to hell with a smile.
You know, I would have paid to see that.
Huh, I wonder what those chipmunks are gonna do with oxygen tanks and a Navy rifle. Don't you think it's time to bury the hatchet?
If you'd listen to my story, you'd know why I won't.
6 generations of your family have died in this lake. Don't you think that's enough?
You could never understand. The Hasselbeck Montoyas are not quitters. What kind of example would I set for my daughter if I gave up?
You're right. Kick him in the monster parts. Show her that her father isn't a coward.
Thanks, Betty. Your words of support have inspired me. As soon as I get my harpoon back, you'll see history in the making.
On second thought, I've heard enough fairy tales for today.
When the beast takes its last breath and I hold its head aloft, then you'll believe me.
What do you know about this town?
I passed through this morning. It looked like a typical small town. At first. You should have seen their eyes. Those bright eyes. Like they were following me everywhere. Unsettling.
Why didn't you stop and check it out?
My schedule is very tight. I need to kill the monster before the Master Chief realizes I'm away without leave. Now, unless you have other questions, I really need to find my harpoon.
Did you hear the explosion earlier tonight?
Not really. I was fighting for my life in the forest when it happened.
Excuse me, what?
I cut through the forest to reach the lake faster when the most unbelievable thing happened. Chipmunks.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Ah, I see you are familiar with these vile creatures.
I might have heard a thing or two. Go on.
They appeared out of nowhere. I haven't seen such stealthy creatures since the Mariachi Ninjas. Regardless, I fought fearlessly as they stripped me of every single one of my possessions.
The great Smokey Hasselbeck Montoya the Eighth, defeated by a handful of chipmunks?
Handful? They swarmed me. There must have been hundreds of them.
Okay, let's say I believe you. That still doesn't explain why you didn't hear the explosion.
One of them hit me in the head with a nut. My ears are still ringing.
A nut?
Yes, a nut.
I changed my mind about that quest. This night is long enough already.
Why don't you just hand that gear over?
I'm not finished with it. My triumph is yet to come.
Oh, come on. What's your next stop? The moon?
Very funny, Betty. Those foul chipmunks stole my equipment, leaving me no choice but to rent this rust bucket.
Kleptomaniac chipmunks aside, the owner still wants her stuff back.
I can't return it now. Not when I'm so close to conquering the Great Sherman. Assist me in my search for the harpoon, and I'll gladly return the gear.
Well, gotta go.
Dismissed, sailor. Finally, out of that outhouse.
It's too late. It already sank.
Higher! Higher! I'm flying! Whee! Whee!
Hey, gravity! Catch me if you can! Ugh, they don't make ropes like they used to. It's squeaky clean, but let's not touch it too much. I can't reach the harpoon. Why would anyone want a plunger in a tube? Weird, man. Weird. If we could add some pressure to this, it would be a plunger gun. So, what do you say? Are we going kayak hunting? It'll take more than that to shake the harpoon down. I think someone would notice that this isn't a kayak. Kids, don't try this at home. This is it, you bloodsuckers. I'm coming for you. No, they'll suck me dry. Can you smell what Betty is cooking?
Hasta la vista, baby.
I better leave the candle there so the mosquitoes don't return.
Finally, I got you.
Now you're it!
Lisa, come back. We're not playing tag right now.
I should forget about saving the town and just go patent this instead. Every household in America will soon wanna... what should I call it? Ooh, I know. Pick a Kayak 6000!
See you around, Mr. Raccoon!
Don't you ever come back to the basement!
I think someone would notice that this isn't a kayak. I think someone would notice that this isn't a kayak. It'd be a great weapon. Unfortunately, it's kayak season, so stick to something that will help me pull it back. I seem not to stress this enough. Machete girl.
I think someone would notice that this isn't a kayak. Don't be a litter bug. Keep your trash in your pockets. Why would you need this to smell like citronella? I think someone would notice that this isn't a kayak. It's too late. It already sank. It's squeaky clean, but let's not touch it too much.
You did that all by yourself.
I did indeed.
Have you perchance thought about joining us at Vendettas Incorporated? We could use someone with your skills in the Monster Labs. You did that all by yourself.
I did indeed.
Have you perchance thought about joining us at Vendettas Incorporated? We could use someone with your skills in the Monster Labs. First the monster, then the chipmunks, rotten critters. You did that.
It's too late. It already... It's squeaky clean. I like my stuff more... Why would you need this to smell like citronella? Don't be a litter bug. Keep your trash in your pockets. It'd be a great weapon. Unfortunately, it's I think someone would notice that this isn't a kayak.
I need my harpoon. You did that.
I did indeed.
Have you? We could use...
Let's teach that kayak how we do things around here. A hickory ore by Blister Makers. Ooh, it's inscribed. If you steal it, I will bite your teeth. Clarice. Is this the harpoon you were looking for?
You have my eternal gratitude, Betty. Thank you, on behalf of the entire Hasselback Montoya dynasty. I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. In my heart, I carry the bravery of all the men who lost their lives to you. You may well rip off my head and strip me of my honor, leaving me to face the same grim fate as my ancestors. But not today, beast! Today is the day you die! Sherman! Show your ugly face! Aha! You finally show yourself, you slightly larger than expected monster! Your reign of terror is at an end. Prepare to meet your fate at the hands of Smokey on the water Hasselback Montoya! You wish to devour me, beast? Do your worst! You may break my body, but you will never shatter my spirit! You better save your breath, Sherman! It might be your last! Ah!
Enough, brother Montoya! It's my turn to give a speech.
What?
Bless us, Homo, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive. Something, something, something. Amen.
Not so fast, beast! Have a taste of this! Hi-ya!
Oh no, I am gravely wounded. Mighty Montoya, you have killed me most dead. I'm dying.
Yes! Victory is mine!
No, you numbnuts. The only thing that toothpick of yours did was whet my appetite.
No, it's not over! As long as there's still a single drop of blood left in me, I will never give up!
Relax. Stressed Montoyas are harder to chew.
Think, man, think! Maybe there's something in these pockets! Jackpot! Now, you demon, taste defeat at the hands of my mighty Lemon!
Ah! Centrical hit! My eye! Why is it always the good eye? I can't see!
Whoa! Stop flailing around!
I can't get words!
Why don't you just splash some water on it?
Ah, much better. Thank you, Snack.
You're welcome, monster.
What are you doing? Don't help him.
Where was I? All right, back to eating you.
Damn it, Betty! Don't just stand there! Do something!
Hey, sucker. Why don't you pick a fight with someone your own size?
I know I'm not supposed to die in this game, but you're really pushing it, pal.
Let go of me!
Oh, such a brave snack.
Snack? Wait, you can't eat me?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can, but let's find out.
Wait, time out, time out. You shouldn't eat me.
Why not? You look tasty enough.
My mom might not like me very much, but you can be damn sure she'll avenge me.
Excellent. Another lineage to munch on.
No, no, please give me one last chance.
Well, since I am a gentleman, I'm gonna tell you a riddle. If you get it wrong, I eat you. Otherwise, you're free to go.
Haha, then get ready to starve to death. 'Cause I'm the riddle master.
We shall see. So tell me, my lunch, what's large, terrifying, and has a lot of tentacles?
You?
Aha! That is indeed me. This one doesn't count. Round 2. How many Montoyas does it take to hurt a kraken?
42.
That's the correct answer, but to the wrong question. I'm having fun with this. Let's do another round. What smells like fear, tastes like human, and isn't going to make it through the night?
That raccoon in the garbage can?
What? What part of tastes like human didn't you get?
How would I know what human tastes like?
Well, either way, fun's over. Now get in my belly!
What do you have there?
Nothing.
Bob, let go of the nice lady.
But Lisa...
Wait, your name's Bob?
Shut it, Snack.
What do we always say about eating campers?
But what about my tummy rumbles?
Bob.
Sorry.
And where's Mr. Montoya?
Montoya? What's a Montoya?
We'll talk about Mr. Montoya later. Now, let the girl with the pretty hair go.
Just a quick nibble. She doesn't need both.
Enough! You don't want to make me angry, do you, Bob?
No, not angry. I'm really sorry, Miss Snack. Please excuse my manners.
Yeah, that'll show ya. Hey, Bob.
Would you at least call me Robert? We barely know each other.
Sure thing, Roberto. What about Ruperto, or Robertinho, or Rigoberto, or...
Know what? Just call me Bob.
Did you hear that huge explosion not too long ago?
Yes, I heard it, even underwater. It blew the water right out of the lake. Now look at it. Not even enough room to take a good swim.
Well, I'm gonna try to take care of it. You sit tight, Bob. What can you tell me about the town nearby?
The mayor made me sign an NDA a few years ago. I'm forbidden from talking about the town.
Okay. So, did anything interesting happen around here recently? Besides the explosion, that is.
Well, all I can say is that it was always pretty quiet around here until the military showed up. Since then, I've been seeing a weird green glow across the ridge.
I wonder what they're up to. Tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
What's your story?
Well, you see, it all began like many stories do on a summer trip to a lake. When disaster struck, I was happily camping near these shores with my loving family.
Wow, a family of octopuses! How cute!
What? No, I had human parents, just like you.
Okay.
I went skinny dipping in the lake, which, let me tell you, was much bigger and deeper when I was young.
I'm pretty sure it's because you've grown up.
As I was saying, I got ensnared in some seaweed. It was wrapped around my tentacles. completely trapping me underneath the surface. I could hear my mother calling me for days. Unfortunately, being a kraken, I can't really survive on land for very long. So I was stranded here, alone. The lake is my prison.
Aw, man. That's a sad story if I've ever heard one.
Tell me about it. My life's full of tragedy.
Not to fuel the fire, but... Have you ever thought that maybe you were adopted?
What nonsense are you talking about?
Humans generally don't get baby krakens from the stork.
I was lied to my entire life.
Bob, I'm sure they never told you because it didn't really matter. They loved you for who you were.
Thank you, Betty. You must come from a loving family to be able to...
Loving!
Tell me about your feud with the Montoyas.
It all started about 300 years ago. A passing group of conquistadors camped by the lake and invited me over for paella. What they didn't tell me was that I was the main ingredient.
Wow, talk about lousy hosts. What did you do?
I attended the dinner. It would have been rude not to.
Wasn't it a bit awkward? You know, with them trying to eat you and all?
Au contraire. Best paella I've ever had. The armor was a bit hard to chew, but...
You ate a ship full of conquistadors.
Well, not all of them. One got away. The cook. Juan Plata on the grill, Hasselbeck Montoya. First of his name.
Then what happened?
I don't know what that suit for brains told the rest of his family, but I've had a steady supply of snacks ever since.
I want to know more about the Montoyas.
Montoyas? They're my favorite subject.
Who came after Juan Plata?
The first to come seeking revenge was Pastor Damien on the cross, Hasselbeck Montoya. He came up to me and started chanting in Latin. I think he was trying to exorcise me, like I was a demon or something.
Did it work?
Not really, but I had to give it to him. He had a beautiful voice.
Really?
Yeah. Before I knew it, I was falling asleep. That's when he tried to take me out for good.
Holy sheep!
No! Holy hand grenade! When I saw it, I jerked awake and startled him. It fell at his feet and he went boom. He was my first snack. A bit gamey and full of shrapnel, but minced meat goes well in chili.
So who showed up next?
After the father came the knight, Sir George on the horse, Hasselbeck Montoya. What a legend that guy was. He showed up in full plate armor with magic sword and everything and lunged at me.
No warning or anything? Did he hurt you?
I mean, it tickled, but in the end, his toys shattered just like his dreams and his bows. You should have seen his face when that happened.
You just crushed him.
No, I also ate him, horse and all.
You seem to have quite the history with the Montoya family. Got any more stories?
Good old Dr. Ice on the prey, Hasselbeck Montoya. He walked up to me and shouted, "Chairman, I will now cure you." As if I were a disease or something.
And then?
He pulled out something red and shiny.
Shiny?
Sorry, please continue.
As I was saying, he blasted me right in the eye with his red light. I lost my sight, and in my panic I smashed him against a tree. By the time I got my sight back, I realized he'd actually cured my cataracts. I hadn't seen so well in years.
What Montoya came next?
Then came Hans. Hans on the pipe, Hasselbeck Montoya. He showed up one day with a folding chair, sat right where you're standing now, and started staring at me.
What the?
Right? When I asked what he was doing, he calmly replied, "Staring contest, you beast," and pulled out a pipe. Those were the days. The way he looked at me set butterflies loose in my stomach.
Aww.
Never left my side. He died of old age in the very same spot, staring at me one last time.
The last one was kind of depressing, huh? Is the next one like that too?
The sixth one was Richard. He was the weirdest of them all.
Wait, this one didn't have a fancy nickname?
Well, if he had one, he didn't mention it. But he was definitely on something. Anyway, the guy starts delivering this speech about love and peace between us.
Ooh, this isn't gonna end well.
Yeah, the speech wasn't all that bad, but it was so incredibly long that I got hungry and...
You ate him just because he was boring?
Okay, that one's on me.
So, what happened to the seventh Montoya? Did you eat him too?
That would be Dance on the Floor, Hasselbeck Montoya.
Smokey's father, then?
Yeah, he showed up with the gramophone. Then he started moving weirdly around the lake while the music played.
Is it me, or do these stories just keep getting worse?
The poor fella. I thought he was having a stroke. So I crushed him out of his misery.
Maybe he just wanted to dance for you.
Well, it looked more like he had chipmunks in his pants.
How did you become friends with the girls?
Oh, they did me a solid. This group of lousy campers came by and started playing their awful music. I asked them nicely to turn down the volume.
I'm guessing they didn't react well.
They threw rocks at me, mocked me, and called me a monster. Can you believe it, Betty? They called me a monster.
You? A monster? Nah.
Watch it, Snack.
What happened next?
I was crying my soul out under the pier when this little girl with a machete showed up. She asked me what the problem was, and I told her. She said she'd handle it. The next thing I knew, silence.
What can you tell me about other terrifying creatures such as yourself?
A lot, actually. Who do you want to know about?
What can you tell me about the big-footed North American man-ape?
Huh? You mean Harold, the Sasquatch? Great guy. Harmless as a chipmunk.
You know, chipmunks are actually pretty scary.
Not when you're my size.
What do you know about the Loch Ness Monster?
Nessie? Not that again. I'll tell you a secret, but you can't tell anyone.
Pinky promise.
I was on a vacation in Scotland. Had a wild night of drinking. Long story short, I should probably steer clear of Loch Ness. Forever.
That's it?
I've said too much already.
Let's talk about the most evil monster of them all.
Which would be...
My mom, Eliza Barrett.
Wait, seriously? She's the kindest, most unselfish person I ever met. She even made a memorial for me. Since you're her daughter, she must have put up a pretty big statue of you, right?
Yeah, as big as her love for me.
There's one terrifying creature I'm dying to know more about.
The Montoya Slayer, the Lake Muncher, the Alpha and Omega of water monsters.
The Great Sherman!
Must you?
Hey, you almost ate me. I'm entitled to some teasing.
You know Lisa left a while ago, right?
You bring up a fantastic point, Bob. Tell me about the scariest monster you've ever encountered.
I've met my fair share of legendary monsters, wendigos, werewolves, mummies, and the deadliest of all, the Chupacabras.
Seriously?
Trust me, on a night with a full moon like this one, stay away from cows.
Why would my mom erect a statue in your honor?
Are you implying that I don't deserve it?
Not at all. I'm just curious how that even happened.
Oh, I was just chilling around the lake one day when she showed up with a bunch of papers in hand. She told me she'd erect a statue in my honor if I signed them.
And you signed them? Just like that?
Of course I did. Who would ever turn down such an offer?
I think I know what happened here. You didn't read the fine print, did you?
Well, she told me it was that small because it wasn't important.
Of course she did. I'll be going, Bob.
Whatever. Just stop bothering me.